Hi everyone, today we are going to discuss about the parameters and arguments in function. And now what are parameters? Passing one or two arguments or parameters to a function is called parameters and arguments in a function. First we are going to discuss about parameters and arguments in function here. So first thing is parameter. It is the values which are provided at the time of a function definition. While we are giving a function definition or we define a function, we have to pass the parameters here. So here I am going to represent or define a function name called sum differ. Like I pass the parameter as p comma q for this function sum difference, and I am going to add equal to p plus q because I have to add two variables p plus q, and differentiate between p and q. I am representing p minus q and stored it in the difference here, and it subtracts the value and store the resultant difference. And now I am going to add return as add and difference because we have to find out the value of a variable as add and difference here. And next, coming to the next, parameter is also called as a formal parameter because if we are passing a parameters to a function, that is a formal one here. And coming to the next, what are arguments here? Arguments are the values which are passed while calling a function. So arguments is nothing but when we are passing the values to an function is to be called here. And here I am going to define first thing is main. In that main function, I am representing a variable as x is equal to 9 and y is equal to 3. I am assigning values of x and y here, and now I am storing the value of x and y in a and b with the representation of function sum underscore difference, because I am going to find out the value of sum and difference here. Here x comma y is an arguments here because I already represent the value for x and y, and now I am going to print sum is equal to a, print difference equal to b here. And finally I call the function as main. Here arguments is also called as an actual parameter because the actual values are taken from which we are declared from the main function here. Coming to the next, what are the types of arguments are available in the Python? So it supports types of arguments in Python. There are four types of arguments are there. One is positional argument, second one is default argument, third one is keyword argument, fourth one is variable length argument. And now we are discussing about a positional argument here. These are the arguments passed to a function in a correct positional order. We know that positional is nothing but which position is to be aligned here, or the sequence of order. We are representing the values of sequence order, that is to be a position. Which position the values are stored here, that is to be identified here. For example, I am going to define a function name as subtract and passing a parameters or arguments as a comma b. I am passing two parameters here, a and b. Now I am going to print a minus b because I am going to subtract the two variables here, value of a variables. Then subtract, I call the function as subtract here. Now I am passing the values of a function as subtract 100 comma 200. Now I get a value minus 100, and then I am again passing a value to check another two variables for the values of 150 and 100. I will get the output of 50 here. So these are the things how the positional arguments are passing values to a particular variable here. Next is default argument. Now when a function call is made without arguments, the function has a default for it. For example, we have declare or define a function named greet message. Now I am going to greet some person, that name is Mohan. Now I am going to print hello, the name. The value of a variable that is print is called, the output value is called hello Mohan here. Now I am going to greet a message Vinay, that is valid, and greet a message that is also a valid. We can declare a greet message with a different types of passing a parameters to a particular function here. So it will take a default arguments when we are using without declaring any arguments, it will take a default one. The next thing is when a function is called made without arguments, the function has default values for example. So these are the examples for the default variables which we called as a name. Greet message is a function name and we declare that passing parameters as a name Mohan, message good morning. Then now I am going to print a name comma message. The output will be a Mohan good morning here. And finally I call the function name greet message. And again I defining a message that greet message Mohan message, it's an invalid because nothing message is passed here. So I have to pass the value of a message here. Then I am printing the name message, then greet message here. The next thing is uh, keyword arguments. If a function contains many arguments and we wish to specify some among them, then the value for such parameter can be provided by using the name. That is called as a keyword here. So keyword is represented, we cannot use as a normal word. We can use as a reserved words or called keyword arguments here. So here I'm going to declare defining a function name greet message name as and message, print name comma message. I called a function here that greet message, name is equal to Mohan, message is equal to hi. This is a valid one. The output will be Mohan hi. These are the things how we can use the message and as a keyword here, because we represented the value of arguments before itself, that is name comma message. While I am calling the greet message, the name and message will be called here. Next example is calling a function greet message. Message is hi, name Mohan. It is a valid one. So Mohan hi like will be displayed here. And next is variable length arguments. In some situations, one need to pass a many arguments to a function. Python provides a way to pass number of arguments to a function. Such types of arguments are called variable length arguments. So variable length arguments are defined with the asterisk symbol. For example, we are going with a function name as a define sum of asterisk num n. So here I am represented as asterisk and num n is a variable length argument here, because I have to find out the length of a variable n. And next thing is total equal to 0. For I in n, total plus equal to I. Print sum is equal to total, then sum. Calling a function, I am going to call a function here sum as output is 0, then sum of 10 is equal to the value of output is 10, then sum of 10, 20, 30, the value of an output is 100 here. Thank you.